Hello everyone, this is Adam for RealHomeRecording.com. Apologies for the sore throat. I just wanted to make this quick little video on this gorgeous Friday night where I'm staying in and editing the TV shows that I'm working on. Life as an indie producer on a shoestring budget. Gotta love it. Anyway, I wanted to just say that I finally decided to check out Google Play Music. I think that's the official name. It's called Play Music on apps. But anyway, I was listening to Spotify last night and I was streaming it losslessly through a program called Air Server to my computer, to my desktop computer, through speakers that I've been using for over a decade, going on probably 15 years now. So I'm very familiar with these speakers. I mix with these speakers, and Spotify just sounded like absolute shit to me. You know, it sounded okay coming through the iPad speaker. It sounded okay even through headphones. But when I had played it through my home theater system using the auxiliary input through RCA cables, I thought, well, maybe that's because, you know, the iPad's designed for headphone output, not for a line input. So I said, okay, because I was hearing it like being muffled. Just there was something wrong with Spotify. Even with the high quality setting, I have a fiber optic internet connection, so there's no issue with data transfer. So anyway, I started looking around, and apparently other people hear it too. It's like Spotify sometimes has this muffled sound to it, and apparently it's because Spotify is limiting their music, and you know, whenever you limit music to an extent, it will kill the tone. This is something that I've talked about in many videos, but hypercompression, when you compress something that's already been compressed to a hard degree, it just destroys the sound. So anyway, again, excuse me, my voice is very messed up right now, but I should record some voiceovers since it's like way deeper than normal. But Freak on a Leash is a song I'm very familiar with. Korn was one of my favorite bands back in the day. They've gone to this like techno music thing, so I kind of stopped listening to them. But I'm very familiar with these songs, and I just got finished listening to a Godsmack song, another album I'm very familiar with, the self-titled Godsmack album. And this is under Google Play. I listened to it not only through the desktop app, which I'm looking at right now, or the desktop website, but also the same way I listen to Spotify, which was through the Air Server program, through AirDrop, lossless audio. And I've got to say, Google Play kicks ass. Kicks Spotify's ass. Bottom line. By the way, just because I have a sore throat doesn't mean my ears are clogged up. Not at all. My ears are perfectly fine. It's just a throat issue. So I have clean hearing, and I can tell you that although it's not perfect, the albums that I'm familiar with that I've listened to so far sound way better than Spotify. And by way better, I mean, like I said, that muffled tone is gone. It sounds closer to the CD. It might not be perfect, but most people, including audiophiles, I would venture to guess they cannot hear the difference between this and a FLAC file from the same source. And it's a shame because I've heard that Spotify uses what's known as Ogg Vorbis, and they use peer-to-peer connections, so it really shouldn't be an issue. My guess is somebody there is doing a piss-poor job of the original encode, which is kind of ironic because even back when I had a slower computer and it would take like a minute or two to compress an MP3 from a WAV file, I would still put it on that extreme high-quality placebo setting, even though it took like a minute or two, just because I knew that I wanted to get the best quality out of my music. Nowadays, when you have these Intel i7 processors that compressing an OGG file takes like next to no time, and they're using a bad quality setting. I don't know if it's a record label thing because I have music on there If you're familiar, I've played this man's music a number of times because I mixed and mastered it myself. Matt Pless, MATT space PLESS. If you look up his music on Spotify, it sounds pretty close to what I've mastered, and that's because I didn't compress or hyper compress the crap out of it back when it was mastered. Both his albums, and I also did a few songs on Tumbleweed. I'm sorry, both the Ballerina and the Alarm Clock Time Bomb album were mixed and mastered by me, and that was like my first major audio recording besides doing voiceover work and podcasting that I did. And those tracks over Spotify actually don't sound too bad. Again, most modern music is mastered within an inch of its life. It's limited within an inch of its life, and Spotify adding its own limiting makes everything sound crappy. They should just be either reducing the volume, so that it's not affecting the tone. But whatever Spotify is doing, it's just ruining the way it sounds. And Ogg Vorbis at 160 kilobits per second, which is the free version, shouldn't really sound too bad at all. But it does. And like I said, I think it has a lot to do with they may just be running their stuff through some kind of shitty compression algorithm. And I don't know how they're not hearing this. I can't imagine that a company with that much money doesn't have some place to listen to their music. Come on. If I have my $200 speakers here, and of course I have the more expensive speakers at Studio B to listen through, they gotta have something better than me, and they have to have audio engineers on staff that can hear this, right? Or do they not care? But either way, look, I didn't give Google Play a chance because I'm like, Google runs my life. I use it as a search engine, YouTube, but I finally was like, you know what? Let me check it out, because Apple Music still isn't out yet, and who knows what that'll sound like. But Google Play shocked me. And by the way, this is the 30-day free trial that I'm using right here. So, because otherwise you can't access original, tracks like this, like where I can just click any song I want and play it. On Spotify's app on the iPad, you can do that for free. And like I said, the audio quality shouldn't be that much different from an Ogg Vorbis file, because I've encoded 160 kilobit per second Ogg Vorbis files, and they certainly sound better than 160 MP3s. And even 160 MP3s aren't too bad until you get to the cymbals, but we're talking about even mid-range and low mids sounding woolly. They sound pinched is a good word. The snare drum sounds like shit. Anyway, I've been talking way too long. Check out Google Play Music if you haven't already given them a chance. Do the 30-day free trial, because otherwise you're going to be listening to what's known as the artist radio stations, and you can't pick and choose what songs and albums you want to play. But I'll tell you what, for $10 a month, which is the cost of a CD, so $120 a month or $120 a year. Like I said, CDs are on the way out. I would still support like your absolute favorite bands by buying their physical music, because you always need an internet connection for something like this, and you never know when you're gonna go homeless. but in all seriousness, services like this may not be around too long, just because of the way bandwidth works and how it's still pretty expensive to stream things. Spotify still is yet to make a profit, from what I understand, and I have no idea why people still keep investing in them. And I think when Apple Music comes out, between Apple and Google, they're going to kill Spotify. Spotify will be bought out by one of the two big ones. Google will probably buy them, and whatever. Bottom line is, check out Google Play, because it's out right now. It's not vaporware. I think Apple Play comes out next month, or maybe in the next few days, but check these guys out if you haven't already. That's it. This has been Adam for RealHomeRecording.com.